Am I live? Yeah, it does. Oh, darn, it's frozen. What happened? Okay, no, it's working now. Yeah, I forgot about to look and make sure the picture get taken properly. All right, whatever. It's all good. It's all good. It's all good in the hood. There we go. Right, I better go and turn monetization on. Man's got to get paid. Man's got to get paid. Darn. Okay. Just give me 1 second there, folks, while I share the old links. Ooh, okay, that's not working. Okay. Let's change that again. Turn that on. Turn it on. There we go. Change. Save those changes. Any day now, any day now. All right, looks like it might be done now. It looks like it may be done now. All right. Hope everyone's doing fine today. If there is anyone in the stream, I haven't looked down to see as of yet. Still, like I say, still trying to tie up the loose ends, make sure people are getting notified. It's important. Put it up on the social media pages. I was gonna use a totally different title for this video. What's going on, Freedom Prospector? Good day. What's going on, Derek? Good day to you as well. I'm going to use a different name, but I went with this one for now. Because, yeah, there's a series I'm probably going to be doing of videos or streams. Not sure if I'm going to do them in video form or in live streams. But because it may have to be longer form, although it's the thing, if I do it as in the series, then, yeah, I could probably do it as videos. There we go. Okay, so there's that. Going out to the Facebook. There we go. Going out to Twitter. And there we go. Close it up. Close that. And let's see what's going on in the chat here for a minute or two, shall we? Howard G, good morning, folks. Canadian Caveman. Hey, KJBR peeps. How's it going? All right, I guess we got like 13 in here now, so why not? Let's just get right to it. All right, there's lots of stuff coming out of the Post-Millennial and True North, two excellent alternative media sources. I'm going to deal with this one first. This one is out of True North with the headline, PBO predicts record deficits, millions unemployed by the end of 2020. The PBO predicts the budget deficit would increase to $27.4 billion in 2019-2020, so and then to $184.2 billion in 2020-2021. And that's, they're still not done spending yet. You got to remember, Trudeau has until, the end of June, or at least till June, of unlimited spending powers, which, once again, never had that. That wasn't even a pretense under war-like conditions, right? During World War I or World War II. But nowadays, because of a virus, well, unlimited spending power. Because it's much easier to control a population of people who just allow fear to control every aspect of their life. And that's what's been used, well, as you realize in the name of this stream, is collective control. Collectivism and collective control and punishment. And that's very, very, very much the mindset of some of the older demographics or generation in this country is collective punishment and collective control. And it's always used under the pretense of fear. They always use fear. Fear is an amazing way to control large populations in particular, right? Individuals, not so easy. But if you get entire populations and you create just enough or the right amount of fear and anxiety, like I say, can make them so much more easy to control. And as we're seeing, that experiment, yeah, it works, doesn't it? It's working like a charm out there in Canada because Canadians are more than willing to put up with, millions of unemployed by the end of 2020 and deficits to the tunes of not just tens or 20s of billions of dollars, right? Which is already ridiculous amounts of money. But no, now we're talking hundreds of billions of dollars worth of debt. Even more, much more than even what happened under the financial crisis in 2008, right? Like I say, folks, fear. And the people that vote for these politicians definitely allow fear to control them. I'll just read a little bit from it. This is reported on April 9th, 2020 on the True North Wire. Canada's Parliamentary Budget Office, PBO, is predicting that the coronavirus pandemic and low oil prices will lead to record deficits. Really? Is it the low oil prices? Because as far as I'm concerned, low oil prices that would affect private businesses. Oh, but because governments steal from those businesses in the way of taxation, right? Or regulatory capture or fees, right? Apparently the Canadian budget for the government is not going to be able to do so well because of oil prices and the coronavirus. Well, once again, what does it have to do with the coronavirus? It doesn't. It's not the coronavirus. It's the fact that governments, provincial, local, and federal, and just like I reported on yesterday, in Canada, the provinces included, and that's the thing that's most disturbing when they talk about how the federal deficit. I was listening to another CBC radio program this morning where, we're not even at 40% in terms of GDP, in terms of the debt levels on federal. But like I say, if you combine the provincial debt with the federal debt, because that's the thing, Canada is one country. Yes, there's a bunch of provinces in it. But if you combine the total debt of the provinces and the federal, and then let's just add in even local, right, municipal debt, and then let's add on top of that household debt, because we all recognize, so you got federal debt, you got provincial debt, you got local debt, and then you got household debt. All at record levels. Meanwhile, there's still only one of each of us, right? It's not like us 37 million Canadians have four of us that we can say, there's four of us to work to pay off that debt. Nope, there's still only one of us to pay off those local, provincial, federal, or the personal debts. And if you combine federal, provincial, local, and personal debts, they're to the tunes of hundreds of percent in comparison to what GDP or what we all bring in. That's why you see constantly those figures that are reported but never properly articulated as to what they mean, where Canadians are basically spending, $1.70 something for every dollar they bring in. Like I say, that might not even include all of the unfunded liabilities or debt obligations. But when you're spending that much outside of what you bring in year after year after year and ramped up to this, like I say, this is pure intergenerational theft. I don't know how many times I got to point out the fact that this is all going to be placed on that proverbial extended credit card and on the backs of future and successive generations to pay for this. So like I say, the Canadians that are alive today who are unwilling to talk about this stuff, right? And point out to some of those people in your family or the people in your community that are willing to go along with this stuff. Like I say, that's a lot of people who are willing to cause a lot of economic hardships. And I mean, with economic hardships comes with a lot of, economic hardships can mean to real personal hardships, right? If you can't put a roof over your head or food in your mouth, in your belly, well, those economic hardships become real social hardships as well, right? Real life hardships for your own social life or your own well-being, social and economic. But the fact that nobody wants to talk about this stuff except for a few people like myself, and even when you hear them talking about the debts and deficits today, like I say, when you listen to anyone in the media, they're not bringing up or emphasizing the intergenerational theft that's taking place. Why? Because everyone wants to keep that low key. They want to keep that flying under the radar so that people will continue to go along with this shit, which to me is just disgusting. But anyways, in a report published Thursday, the PBO expects the 2020-2021 fiscal year will see a deficit significantly larger than in 2019-2020. Our fiscal results include $105 billion in federal budgetary measures that have been announced as of April 7th based on Finance Canada and PBO cost estimates, the report reads. Based on our economic scenario, including announced federal measures, the budget deficit would increase to $27.4 billion in 2019-2020 and then to $184.2 billion in 2020-21. The PBO's projection predicts the deficit would go from 1.2% of GDP to 8.5% of GDP, the highest budget deficit to GDP ratio since the Second World War was 8.1 in 1984 and 85. So basically, yeah, so this is higher than even that. So this is higher than even in the 80s when, you know, you've seen those ridiculous interest rates creep up to into the double, not just double digits, but like around 20% range, right? But that's even higher than even the Second World War. And like I say, we're at the very beginning of this, folks. So already at the very beginning of this outbreak, the debts and the deficits are at extreme levels. And when they talk about the GDP, what the GDP is, what everything that's produced and provided economically in Canada, and they measured against that. But it's like, even if you say it's only 8.5%, well, first of all, 8.5% of what everything that everybody produces is obviously a substantial number. Well, obviously, the fact that it's hundreds of billions of dollars. But the fact that, like, when they try to I can't, like, if I say, I'm stealing from my neighbors, but, you know, rather than stealing $100 from my immediate neighbor to my left or my right, well, I'm going to steal from all 100 of my neighbors in the vicinity, so I don't have to steal $100 from my neighbor to my left here. I'll steal, you know, $3 from them, maybe $4 from them, and I'll get the $100, but I'll steal it over a larger group of people. That's still theft, right? But if I could say, oh, well, yeah, but I only stole $3 from this person and $4 from this person rather than $100 straight up from this one person, somehow that makes it, you know, what? That's acceptable. Oh, well, that's okay then. Well, at least they did.